The journey begins, and I'm on my way.
minus 8 degrees Celsius, and it is about 8:45 in the morning. The beautiful blue skies are visible, as you can see. The sun is behind us. It is a bit cold, but I'm going to be so pleased to be handing this over to the Cars for Ukraine people. They will take this car today in Lviv and they will take it to their modification center. Modifications where they will put armor plating all over this car. Armor plating on the back here to protect the people from getting headshots. Armor plating on the windows, armor plates so people are in the back seats, they're not going to get those headshots. There's going to be armor plating throughout this. But this is not armor. They will have to literally put armor all over this. So it's going to be a much heavier vehicle, but it still will be a worthy vehicle for extracting people from the front.
Basically, some soldiers understand that, okay, I'm going to a very, an environment where a lot of shells happen. Drones can easily attack, so then they will likely use armor on the cars. Because then it's at least some level of protection. When they know that they prefer speed and maneuverability, then you opt for that, and you basically don't deal with armor, because it's like a triangle, right? You always have to. It's always a trade-off. I would say it's speed, protection, and firepower. And if you have speed, you're very maneuverable. Most likely, you don't have firepower. You don't have protection. That's what's good with pickup truck, because you can switch it. You can add some armor, and you'll see on some trucks that we send, like that Hilux, is that we armor it.
On the front of the bonnet, they're going to put a drone jamming device. So any drones flying in the sky, they're going to be able to take them out. They're simply going to drop out of the sky.
So you'll also see that we've already issued and put our drone jammer on. This is specifically for our unit. It's what we use. And it's already been installed. I mean, we got the vehicle yesterday afternoon, and we've already installed our drone jammers.
Unfortunately, drone technology, there's now lots of fiber cables being used. So the drone jamming can work to an extent. I don't know how it's going to work with the fiber optics, where they're flying with the fiber optic cables. We shall see. Obviously, they're going to paint it because it's not going to be white. They've got to do all of this and then take it to the front. As far as I'm aware, there's about 2 or 3 cars being taken to the front today. There's a constant conveyor belt of cars going, so just waiting for the people to arrive now.
My name is Anton, and I'm driving cars to the front already for 4 years. When the full-scale invasion started, literally been to almost every kind of spot at the front. Zaporizhia, Donetsk, Luhansk, and other places. So yeah, 4 years in a row.
Why these cars?
A lot of reasons actually. The first one would be logistics. Logistics is the blood of war, if you know, because you need to get guys to the trenches, you need to get the supplies, you need to evacuate people, etc. So it's not only like car itself, it saves lives, and it's very important.
What's the logistics for this car now? Where does it go? What happens to it?
So this one goes to Kramatorsk, to the guys, and Kramatorsk is like 16 kilometers away from Chasiv Yar, so it's like the closest spot on the front line, and is just a temporary location for our forces. And from there, they're gonna use this car, I think, for logistics purposes. Probably this one would stay white because it's winter. But when it gets closer to summer, they will paint it in green. So yeah,
Okay,
that's it.
I didn't know that.
That's it. Yeah, actually, it's a good color for winter. You don't even need to change it.
Just take that light off.
Okay, good morning. Hi everyone.
Morning, guys.
We have a special guest today in our deployment.
Hello, Zhenya. I'm Alex. I'm also known as the Wandering Englishman on YouTube. I'm a huge fan of Ukraine. I used to live here back in 2021 and up until 2022. I was a Ukrainian resident in Kyiv, and I'm now back 4 years later, just trying to help. Now, you can choose to support or you can choose to criticize, but I choose to do something.
Alex also brought us a car, but we will talk about that car a little bit later when we will deploy it. And today we have 3 cars that are going to the front line, and let's see what stories are hiding behind them. This first one, Volkswagen, was donated to us by Michael Moore. Together with another 2 cars, it was deployed to Lviv in Gavin's convoy. This one will go to reinforce our 12th Brigade of National Guards of Ukraine, Azov. Have you heard about Azov? Of course you have.
I think they're one of the most famous armies now, aren't they? And I think we make note to the viewers, it's not Michael Moore, the filmmaker, but it's the Michael Moore who's donated this car.
Not the filmmaker.
I've obviously brought a car from London, or driven it to Lviv in Ukraine. I'm still trying to raise funds for the campaign, so if you're interested in donating to that campaign, there's a link in the description, there's a link in this video. Every penny, every pound, euro, dollar helps, because it basically pays for the car, equips the car with the armor that you need, those modifications, the armor that you just saw over there. It's all very important. All that costs money, so if you can donate, put your hands in your pocket, click that link, it will be greatly appreciated. And a big thank you to you guys for what you do.
Thank you. And have a nice week. See you here next week.
Yeah, Slava Ukraini.
I'm Slava. Okay, like it's my friend. I was painting this car.
Okay, that's brilliant. How long does the drive take in terms of...
From here to the east? Ideally is day and a half. So you're not driving as crazy as hell. So better if you spend, I would say you put 2 days for it.
Where do people normally stop along the way?
Maybe Kyiv or Poltava. So you break down the ride just like you, Alex, had. That it's better to actually make an extra stop. It's possible to make it all the way to the east within 1 day, but preferably not to.
And I've noticed the roads are not as good as they used to be.
I don't think the roads used to be good in this country. Unfortunately, the roads is a piece of shit.
They used to be. Well, I mean, coming through, I drove that route from Poland to Lviv, and there didn't used to be that many potholes.
It's a winter, because after you have frozen snow, and then snow goes down, and the road goes down as well with the snow. So it's mostly the weather, but also our country is not famous for good roads. It's famous for shitty roads, unfortunately. Yeah.
Wow. Hang on. It's really kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I don't know how much of that was recorded, but I think that's really amazing. The fact that They're going to be distributing 3 of these cars through the front today. This is happening all the time. Go on their YouTube channel and you'll see the hundreds of cars they've donated over the 4 years this war has sadly been continuing. But each one is important to the cause. Each one is going to a different section of the front line. I think it's incredibly important. And what is even more humbling is I just got gifted a Ukrainian flag.
And that's for you.
You think
Yeah,
that we have
so
another one?
basically within Ukraine, we have a brand called BanderaMobiles, and internationally it's Car for Ukraine. And Bandera is, I would say, a very important person in our history. Some might say controversial, and rightfully so, I guess, because that depends on from which side you look. But the reason why people basically reference to him quite a lot in Ukraine is because he was like a very strong leader for Ukraine to be independent, for Ukraine to be its own nation. And yeah, he was a political leader, actually, not really a fighter. He was more a political person who was doing whatever it takes to keep the Russians out, keep the Poles out. He was at some point, fighting against Soviets, cooperating with Nazis, but then Nazis captured him and put him in prison, and then he was killed by Soviets. Basically, he was no friend to anyone, but he was a friend to Ukraine, and he basically put a lot to the fact that we have now Ukraine as a country. Maybe if not for him, it wouldn't be here. That's why these cars within Ukraine have the word of BanderaMobile. And soldiers absolutely love it. Like you have Batman who has Batmobile. So when Russians see that the Ukrainians have a BanderaMobile, it was actually the name came here from Russians. They wanted to sort of to poke on us and say, look, they are Nazis, they're using BanderaMobiles. And we're like, oh, that's actually funny. Why don't we call all of them BanderaMobile? I'm myself from south of Ukraine. Up until the age of 17, I didn't know who Bandera is. I was really bad at history. I didn't really study history much. But in fact, that it wasn't really something common on the streets that you see and you face in the south part of Ukraine or in the east part of Ukraine. So yeah, but then, Russia made him popular, actually. Russia was demonizing him and in fact popularized him. And as long as Russia has Putin, Ukraine has to have Bandera. Exactly. That's why I put an example of myself being from South that I didn't really know or care much about it. And now I do, because it's a part of our history. And people do find out more about that, and people understand that you cannot be tolerant to Russia. You have to be radical towards the enemy. There's no other way. And he was radical. His methods were not popular, but maybe they were the only methods when you have the fight. And we have the fight. We've been having this fight for 4 years almost.
I prepared logistic in Car for Ukraine. I live in Kyiv, right in the center, I don't know, 500 meters from White House president. But maybe months ago, Russian attacks makes very bad situation. In my room, I don't have water, electricity. I don't know how it's in English. Warm in
Gas or like just heating. You have no
heating.
heating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only gas. So we with girl move our bed to kitchen and try to warm with gas. So a few days ago I'm relocated to Lviv. I just have chance to work normally.
And now you're volunteering for this.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, so this is like one of our locations. We have quite a few around Lviv, and on this one we make sure that the very basic of the cars, the motor is running, the transmission is correct working, all the parts that have to be changed are changed, and it's extremely important that we give the trucks to the soldiers, and they don't have to play with it. They don't have to service it, fix it. They have one job to do, is to stay alive and defend our country. And we need to provide them with vehicles that are serviced and ready to go. And that's why we have places like this, quite a few of them, where we are fixing cars, preparing them, servicing everything we can. So then we give it to them and they have at least 20, 30,000 kilometers running with no problem, just changing oil filters and etc. And this is one of our trucks that we are preparing. Like it has been armored, so armor here, it has been painted, but not serviced yet. So that's why it's in this location to service it. And once we change all the parts needed, it will go there. Yeah, this is also the armor on the front, because when the shrapnels are going from the front, the car protects it. So it sort of it keeps the vital organs of the car. It keeps the vital organs of the people, like the neck and the head, covering the doors and the side of the door, to basically keep our soldiers safe. Of course, it's not a tank. Of course, even tanks cannot be protected from drones and other stuff. But if something lands close to the car and shrapnel hit it, we had many cases where shrapnel just gets stuck in the door and the guys walk out. Knees is very vulnerable, so having armor, having a car service that can drive fast, go out, it's very important. Yeah.
So is this door any different to the door that it came with, or is this simply this door is just painted, or is there something that's been put inside the door that makes?
Yeah, of course. Like you can hold it, you can feel it. Just try it.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is super heavy.
It has the armor all over there. Like if I think on the back one, you'll see it better. Yeah, here. So here's like metal.
Yeah.
It's all over here. You see those bolts? So it's all over here. So if you sit inside like that, I'm basically protected in a way. Again, it's not like the highest level of protection, but it's definitely not like driving on a bicycle or something. So you have the stuff here. Yeah.
What would they use the back for?
Russians.
Oh really? So if they get prisoner, they would put them in the...
Oh yeah, I mean that's a truck, right? No, anything. Like you have a bunch of space.
Utilize it just for getting the wounded out as well.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole idea why we have pickup trucks in the first place, because it's extremely, first of all, it's tough, it's reliable, but it's also versatile. I think that's the word. So you can use it for many different needs. You can convert it to a machine gun station. You can turn it into rockets launcher. You can use it for logistics. You can bring stuff in and out. You can evacuate people. You can install additional elements in it and evacuate people. So that all counts. That's why we love pickups. That's why soldiers love pickups, and that's why Britain has now got a lot more new pickups and very few older ones, because they are all here fighting the war. I'm not sure. I think it's someone brought it. Someone brought it.
What is that flag?
From
It's the...
Belgium. Oh, that was actually from Henry, from one of our donors. So he brought a car from Belgium. He brought his this sticker.
Yeah. There's a black. There's a Belgian flag.
Yeah. So he brought it and put it there.
Not obvious.
And also here is this was from Dutch guys. Carl and Frank, they supporting us as hell, like really a lot, and they made this sketch. And every car we sent from them, we put that sketch that a strong Dutch woman is kicking back Russians, putting a flag into their ass and sending back to Moscow. Yeah, we're a bit radical. I think we have to. And those Dutch guys for sure are. We love them. Amazing. Carl and Frank.
Always a good sense of humor with the Dutch.
Oh yeah. I love Dutch. Yeah, I love British. I love Dutch. I love Germans. Yeah, great people. They all support us. Help us fight.
I think you spoke about it when you were saying that when it gets to the front line, that means the soldiers don't have to deal with it, and any modifications that they've requested, it happens there.
I would say there are several stages of how do you get soldiers what they need. First, you start with a good quality vehicle. It starts from there. If you buy shit, then you're in shit. That's why we have a very reliable person in London. He has a team of his own, basically, of his own friends, I don't know, family, colleagues, who are checking every single car we buy. There is someone he trusts who will check the car. You check the history of the car, you check how serviced it was, you check, especially UK is very transparent about that, very convenient, you can see the history of the car. And then you check what it looks like right now. There are two models that we buy primarily, Toyota Hilux, Mitsubishi L200. That's it. We know them, they're reliable, we buy them. And we also keep the bar that we don't buy cars older than 2010. Like Alex, you were driving 2018. That this is, I would say, a bit higher than average, to be honest. But still, we try to keep the bar 2010 and newer. Then after you got it, sometimes people drive them to Ukraine. Sometimes we bring them on the transportation cars, and that already helps to test it, to see what issues it have, what to look at. Then the cars get serviced in the places like this, where we make sure that all the parts important for the off-road are fixed, because you're not gonna be driving on the highway, right? You're gonna be giving this, these babies like real test for this off-road capabilities. Also, we reinforce the frame, because you have a lot of load on it. You have to make sure that it can be rusty, because Britain is quite humid country, but it doesn't have to be cracked. It has to be solid one piece. After we've done that, we install additional armor on it when requested, and also we paint it so it's sort of not shiny. If you're outside in a field, that you're not that noticeable. Even though sometimes people do get asked, like, just to keep it as a civilian, without paint. And after that, we brand it, make sure everyone who helped with a donation or something is credited, and we appreciate that. And and then we make sure that the car gets to the soldiers where they need. So we don't ask them to come here, even though sometimes for them it's a good excuse. They're like, gotta go 1,000 kilometers to collect the car, and the commander will say, oh yeah, go do it.
So sometimes they get that leave, and it's in a way it's a small little break for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Time off.
So if they want, they absolutely can come and collect. But very often they just need a car. They need to complete a job, and we are bringing the cars to them. Kramatorsk, Kherson, Kharkiv, Sumy, wherever they need it, we just bring it there, drop it there. And also, of course, all the paperwork, everything. We do it properly, the way how the government wants us to report about that. And then again, and so far 830 something.
I guess there might be someone watching who, might want to do what I did. Is that something that you're looking for? Are you looking for anyone to drive across, or have you got that? Is that all under control? People.
We're looking for someone who is able to manage, little issues themselves. To be honest, it's to bring a car from the UK to Ukraine requires quite a lot of little issues solving skills, experience, or at least willingness to be able to manage, things like if some light goes on a car, you don't immediately, call evacuator. You make sure that maybe it's just a sensor that say, okay, just be careful. You don't see the pressure of tires automatically. Just look at the tire. So yeah, there are quite a lot of people who offer that they can come, but there are not too many people who are able to manage the process and maybe get other people around them and do it. We're absolutely happy to have leaders of the convoy. So someone who has time, who has basically ability to manage groups of like 2, 3, 4 trucks. Once we have someone like that, that's really cool, because then all the newcomers, all the other people who never done it, they can come to that person for advice. We're absolutely happy to educate for the first time such person.
But when it comes to a lot of new people who need to be educated and walk through, which lane you choose on the border, or which documents, like make sure you have all the documents with you. It's a lot of those little things that when we bring every car individually, each driver is the first-time driver, then it just becomes a lot of little micromanagement. Whereas when we have bigger convoys, we always have an experienced person who is leading the convoy, who is helping all the new ones, and then it's really helpful because that way you can organize your own convoy in your own way. You can keep your own pace. You can brand the cars the way you want. You can paint them. Do whatever you want. Like have fun, but try to don't freak out. Try not to drive 200 miles an hour or something like that. Just keep it steady.
You have volunteers like Anton and the other people I met. Do they just put themselves forward, or do they,
Yeah.
Is that?
So there's a big team within Car for Ukraine. Most of them are just doing it in their spare time, so they're not paid. Some of them who do it as a full-time job, like this service, for example. We pay for everything we do, so we pay normal market price for fixing the cars. When the war just broke out, then of course nobody really thought of that. You were just helping. But when you are building a system, you need to have people who are doing the job on a regular basis, and you pay them. So there are some people who are basically supporting the operations, and that's what helps basically cover. So when you have a fundraiser for a car, you're just covering all the expenses related to the car. Nothing of that goes to the salaries or anything. And the salaries are pretty low. Like we have only a few people who are who getting paid. Maybe it's like couple thousand euro a month. That's it. This is the operation expenses that we have a month.
Good version of McDonald's.
It's much better than McDonald's. Yeah. What the hell is that? I love it.
Pinky. Something pinky.
Yeah. And then you got this. These are the new ones.
Yeah. Try them.
Back in the main square after a beautiful day with the Cars for Ukraine people. Really learnt a lot. Not all on camera, but I think there's enough content there to hopefully portray the usefulness of the work they do. I've got a couple more days in Ukraine. Unfortunately, I have to be back due to commitments at home. In a perfect world, I'd head to Kyiv. Hopefully, I'll be back very, very soon. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit warmer as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy the last couple of days in Lviv. I'm going to try my best to document Lviv for you, for those thinking about visiting Lviv when this war ends. Like I say, during the wartime, not too advisable. Simple reasons is always a risk. But then again, you visit Lyon these days in France. 25 years ago, perfectly safe place to visit. These days, that city's run by gangs and Antifa. It's probably, in a way, less safe than here, as long as there's no drone attacks or something like that. This, when there's no attacks, is one of the safest places in the world, in my opinion. Helps with such a homogeneous population. That really does help. But I'm going to get myself a cherry liqueur from the Drunk Cherry, and I'm going to see if I can talk to some people. Yes. Yeah. So. This is how much Ukraine has changed. This used to be probably the main entertainment venue in Reinhardt Square. It used to be live bands up here. It used to be. Now, it's a shop that sells, well, support for Ukraine, war t-shirts about celebrating the army. That's how much of a war effort is going on right now. A couple of hours after I filmed this, I witnessed a terrorist attack right in the center of Lviv. If you haven't watched that video is available on my channel. However, more importantly, if you haven't donated to this cause, there's a link in the description. Every pound, euro, dollar really helps. We are over halfway there, currently over 7,000 on the way to 11,000, so if you can donate, we will finish this campaign. And a big thank you to everyone who has donated so far. It is greatly appreciated. The next video will be a lot lighter and we will have things to smile about, so stay tuned for that. But as you can see, these vehicles don't last forever, so this is why we keep needing to fund this campaign. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep wondering, and Slava Ukraini.